Hello, welcome back to Women Think Bigger. I hope you guys are doing well today. Today we're going to talk about the importance of feeling comfortable with your voice. And I think as an entrepreneur or even just as a person, there's something really powerful that happens when we truly reconnect with our voice. For entrepreneurs, obviously, our voice is our messaging, is the perfect pitch that we want to land, is the perfect transmission of all the energy that we've put into a project. And I think sometimes we do feel a disconnect between the amount of hours that we put behind our desk, landing the perfect pitch, and a certain lack of confidence when it comes to expressing our message to the world or talking about our projects with people that we don't know, strangers. So I want to talk about why we can feel this disconnect in the voice and how we can get really comfortable with our voice again so that our message starts landing really different with clients and people. When you feel a disconnect in confidence when you express yourself out there, I want you to understand that it's not necessarily the phrasing, the words, or the things that you've put in place to put your offer together. It has to do more with the energetic signature of your voice. So basically, we can again spend a lot of time using structures for the perfect audience and then the perfect action verbs or words to create our signature offer. Sometimes, even though we have done all this work of messaging and marketing, if the energetic signature of our voice is a little bit off, it's always gonna resonate not in the magnitude at least that we want it to, and it's always gonna be toned down from the real potential of the messaging and the voice, which is why getting comfortable with our voice is really a foundational step for us to really get our message out there at a really different frequency and impact. And probably it might have happened to you in the past that there were moments in your life where you were not necessarily seen as a trusted figure or a trusted authority with your voice, or maybe in some environments, yes, in others, not. And all this can create a sense of sometimes shakiness when we talk about our projects. And because we are humans, 80% of our interactions are nonverbal. So obviously, if at some point our voice gets a little shaky, it's likely that no matter if we have the perfect elevator pitch, the message is not necessarily going to land with your audience. And the goal is not to become blindly confident all the time with our voice. The goal here is really to come back to the root and connect again with the power of our voice and the power of our message. It's an exercise of reclaiming the power. It's an exercise also of establishing that really what we have to say matters deeply. And I want to walk you through certain tips that have helped me to really reconnect with my messaging and with my voice. The first step in this journey is going to be all about awareness. We want to be able to really objectively see how comfortable we feel expressing our voice nowadays and it's going to be done through observing, basically, just to kindly bring awareness through maybe the tone of your voice, the pacing. When you think about times that you have used your voice in the past, did you feel overlooked, or did you feel like you weren't heard or you weren't seen? So I want you to do an exercise of bringing awareness or journal on it of how comfortable do I feel with my voice today? When do I feel like people listen to me? When do I feel like I'm not heard? Do I like my voice? Do I like hearing myself? So do this first awareness exercise and you'll see that a lot of things that maybe you haven't imagined are going to come up. And this is going to really give you some clues on how the difference between how you think you're comfortable with your voice and how you really are comfortable with your voice in the day to day. Because I often find that many of us think we are comfortable, but then when it comes to, I don't know, listening to ourselves talking or filming ourselves or listening to an audio of our voice notes, we struggle hearing our voice. And that's where we realize that actually there might be some little things triggering us sometimes, or maybe we were able to identify some environments where we don't feel like we can really be fully ourselves, for example. The second step that I encourage you to take is to practice owning your voice by using it in different ways. So you can use your voice, obviously, if you like to sing, But if not, you can just record voice notes, and you can also maybe try to record a small podcast for yourself, or you can start by using more your voice when you, for example, you do your morning affirmations. If you do them, start like vocalizing maybe what you want to manifest during the day or during the month. Start by asking the universe out loud, what would you like to receive on a specific day, how you want. One thing that I really like to do in the mornings, I started vocalizing and verbalizing more what I want. And in the morning, I just start my day with my meditation, but then I also add some verbal affirmations where I say, I want to have this particular kind of day. I want to feel like this. I want to feel at peace, etc. So start by really practicing with your voice in different ways so you can start connecting back with the energy of the throat chakra. The third step that you can do, which is really, really a powerful one, is to start being more authentic in the way you use your voice. So first, we brought some awareness to how comfortable we feel with the voice. Second, we started practicing owning our voice. The third step that is going to lead you to mastery of feeling comfortable with your voice is going to be the authentic and the authenticity part of it. Because often the struggle with the voice comes from the fact that we're not used to expressing our authentic selves. So little by little, what you can do is start being more authentic with others on topics that matter to you. So start very small, start sharing with your partner, with your friends, things that you're really interested of. You can start really small. Start with your partner, your friends, or family. Start expressing things that really matter to you that you wouldn't normally feel like sharing with them. So you can obviously tell them, you can share more of what you do, you can also write about it. The idea is really to start sharing more of you. And what you have to remember is that this exercise of being more authentic, it's really a muscle. It's a muscle that you're going to build with time. And that's where the power of the voice is going to come from, being in this energy and practicing regularly. And over time, you'll see that the more you practice being authentic with others in small ways, it's going to lead you then in your business to really be way more comfortable with your offers and with your services. Because coming back to the initial point of this message is, even though you have the perfect marketed pitch, the energetic signature of the voice is going to come when you truly reconnect with your voice. So we cannot necessarily jump from being 0 to 100% confident, but if you practice just being more you, more authentic, and connect more with how you express yourself in your daily life, not necessarily in business context, you'll see that when it comes to your business, you'll be way more comfortable like communicating, because first of all, your voice is going to be at a different level, a different energetic calibration. Second, because you have built this muscle of being confident with the authentic part of you, it's going to be really easier to then communicate your offers with your clients. When I started practicing really this, it became really natural with time. It became really easy, and I promise you that you'll see that your voice suddenly becomes way more magnetic because you really own your voice again. And never forget that your voice is ultimately an extension of your power. So if there is really one thing that we need to work on as entrepreneurs, is the throat chakra, this expression, reclaiming our voice, so that the message lands really differently with people. So choose whatever practical tool is calling to you, and let me know in the comments how comfortable do you feel with your voice today, if you ever thought about exploring different ways of reclaiming your voice. And let me know if you also feel sometimes disconnected with this power of the voice and expressing yourself. I'd love to read your comments and see what comes up. And obviously, if you want more content on those, there are all the courses available for you to dive deep. So don't hesitate to have a look if that calls to you. Have an amazing day, and I see you in another video very soon.